This is John Quintrell. The following is based on my life, my true story. The parts of this story you would hope are fake are the parts that are real.
He stumbled over it. The drunk bastard had all the luck in the world. It took an unnatural step to avoid it. If he hadn't have been hammered, he'd have been dead. And we didn't have time to deal with the mine because Ritter suddenly decided to brief everyone immediately.
Wolfhounds! Ambush patrol, tonight!
He swayed as he spoke. Rich, Big Sally, Merlin, and I all exchanged nervous glances. That mine was live, and it was just sitting there. Anyone could step on it. But we knew we couldn't step away from a briefing without arousing suspicion. We just needed Ritter to shut up.
Forecast calls for rain. It'll be miserable, but we wouldn't have it any other way.
Unfortunately, the liquor seemed to have Ritter in a chatty mood.
VC stole a shit ton of RPGs from Coochie last night, so stay extra frosty out there. We got enough dead wolfhounds already. Any more, and Commander's gonna give me more shit than usual.
He was bizarrely candid.
Quintrell, you'll take point. We'll depart at 1900 hours. New guys, do what Quintrell does. I'm not learning your names until you make it through at least a couple of patrols.
Almost like he didn't care anymore about anything.
Patrol route will take us through the Zeknutai Valley. We'll march about 5 clicks all in. First guy complains about being wet, you're on shit-burning duty. Second guy complains, we're putting you in the barrel. Visibility will most likely be impaired, which means the VC that know every blade of grass out here will be at even more of an advantage than usual. Remember that. Or don't, whatever.
It seemed like he kept talking to avoid what would happen afterwards. He'd have to be in his own company. I sensed a deep sadness in Ritter, maybe for the first time.
Mac! Double check the radio's working. Where the fuck is Mac?
Mac's dead, sir.
Oh, yeah. I knew that, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
It was rhetorical, Sally. Dismissed.
Trying not to be too obvious about it, we hurried to where there was a clear line of sight to Ritter's quarters and the spot we'd buried the landmine in.
What now?
You know how to defuse it?
Shit, no.
Merlin?
It's a long and extremely dangerous process. Safest way to disable a landmine is to just blow it up.
Well, how do you suggest we do that?
Couldn't we say it was VC? They're always trying to take out the higher-ups, right?
Fine, even if we do, literally, how do we blow it up? We can't exactly hop up and down on it.
Shit. Jerry.
Another wolfhound, Jerry, was walking towards us. His path naturally took him past Ritter's quarters. If he walked in a straight line, he'd step over the mine.
Jerry!
Jerry looked up at Rich and smiled and waved. Another step and he'd be smiling and waving in heaven.
Hey, fellas.
Jerry, stop!
Jerry stopped, very confused.
Over here.
Rich moved over to the right and nodded his head for Jerry to follow him. Jerry changed directions to do so, taking him out of danger.
You gonna do that for everybody?
Can we throw something heavy on it?
Theoretically.
Sally, get your pack.
Why mine?
You got the most shit in it.
What do I say when I'm supposed to have it later?
Borrow one from a wolf pup.
Hell.
We can't have people see Big Sally throw his pack at a patch of dirt that happens to explode.
No, we can't.
You have your 45?
Yeah.
I saw a snake next to the shitter.
You did?
Sure I did. Maybe 2 of them.
All right.
Okay, how are we doing this?
On our signal.
What's the signal?
You won't be able to miss it.
Ha! Goddamn snakes!
It all happened so quickly. In seconds, the whole second platoon was there, weapons up. Merlin and I shot at the imaginary snakes next to the shitter. Big Sally threw his heavy rucksack onto the landmine. It was heavy enough to trigger it. The landmine exploded and Sally's items inside were strewn everywhere. A knife, extra socks, a toothbrush was embedded into the dirt 15 yards away. It took a lot of explaining. To say Ritter probably didn't buy our explanation was an understatement.
What?
He lined us up and questioned us together.
Snakes, sir.
Yeah? What kind of snakes?
Indo-Chinese spitting cobras, or maybe some many-banded crates? Hard to tell.
And if you shot these snakes,
Where are their bodies?
We missed, sir.
And Sally, you were somehow not busy eating during all this?
No, sir, I had a big breakfast.
You were just standing right next to my hooch.
Well, not just standing, I was walking by. I got spooked by the shots and dropped my rucksack.
Right onto a landmine.
Well, you got another explanation for something blowing up from under the ground, sir? I'd like to know about it.
And how would a landmine happen to be placed right in front of my hooch?
VC loved to kill the big man in charge.
We know the VC target those in command, sir. That's well-established intel.
Yes, real well established.
Big Sally, you ever have anyone yank your cock?
Sir?
It's not a math test, Sally. It's a simple question.
There was Margot Niederman in the 7th grade. She didn't really know what she was doing. It was kind of like getting attacked down there. I had to ice it after. And there was Katie Kogar in the 12th grade. She had this weird motion, like that Australian thing, boomerang, like throwing a boomerang, except it wasn't a boomerang, it was
You're too precious to have dreamt this up on your own, ain't you?
Dreamt what up, sir?
Gee, Sally, it's a mystery.
Could VC have snuck in at night?
Sure, John, they could have.
I heard some footsteps early. I figured it was just someone taking a piss or something.
I think you're taking a piss right now.
Sir?
It's okay. I can't die. Not here. That's not my fate, see. You do certain things. You don't get to die young. No. You die old. You get every single day of suck. You remember everything, every dead gook face, every dead wolfhound, every woman's scream, every smell of the next guy who shit himself after he died. All of it. You motherfuckers want to kill me? Too bad. Only God gets to do that, and he's not through with me yet.
No one responded, and like Lieutenant Ritter ordered, we assembled for ambush patrol at 1900 hours. And it definitely was raining. We left the wire. My hands were shaking like it was my first ambush patrol. It would have been hard to see under normal conditions. With the rain, it was almost impossible. This was like walking blind. The VC were not going to ambush us. For once, those nightmarish tunnels seemed like a 5-star hotel by comparison. They were probably laughing at us, and maybe they should.
Nice night for a walk, ladies.
As we walked, I felt my body move, but it was like someone else was controlling it. Like I was watching someone else lift up their .45 pistol and point it at the back of Ritter's head. I heard the gunshots, but I didn't feel the .45 recoil. Was I dreaming?
Hold your fire.
Ritter's head exploded and he fell to the ground. It's what I had wanted, even just a second before, yet I still felt awful about it. And then I was mad at myself for feeling awful. I knew what he had done. Didn't mean I took any pleasure in this. Maybe a part of me believed Ritter when he said he wasn't destined to die here. But here he was, and someone else was here too. The last person I ever expected to see. He emerged from the darkness. Tong.
John?
Hold your fire.
Hello, John.
Yeah, turned out Tong spoke English.
This man abused my brother, an innocent, someone who could not defend himself.
Pretty good English, actually.
I have no war with you today. Only him.
Some of the new guys had no clue what the fuck was going on. I could only imagine what they were thinking.
John?
His brother. Of course it was. The long tale of Ritter's beating kept coming around.
We are not just gonna go back and shrug this off, John. The man was a lieutenant. This kid killed him. We gotta bring him in at the very least.
You work for the VC?
Where do you think you are?
Don't know anymore.
I saw you. I saw. There is something you know. You know this was right.
Got any cola, Tong?
Not tonight, John.
We're letting him go.
John, we can't.
Give me your rifle. You dropped it and ran off. We need it.
I have your word. John,
Yes.
on your honor?
Yes. Tong handed me his rifle. We're letting him go.
This is fucked, John.
The new guys watched all this transpire in total shock. But that shock would eventually wear off, I knew. Tong calmly walked away into the darkness he came from. I turned and addressed the men. Wolfhounds, Lieutenant Ritter was killed by a VC sniper during our patrol. If any one of you motherfuckers says a word different, I will fucking kill you myself. I will slit your throat while you sleep. You get me? Nervous nods from the new guys and grim but understanding silence from my squad told me all I needed.
This may cause a bit of drama, huh?
We were all debriefed, of course. Everyone must have stuck to the story. To be fair, it had the benefit of being basically true. We just omitted the part about what happened afterwards. We were told a new lieutenant was en route. He came 2 days later. Like Ritter, he got us all together and gave the day's briefing.
Good morning, Wolfhounds. I've heard a lot about you. You've acquitted yourselves well here. My sincere condolences on the loss of your previous lieutenant, Lieutenant Ritter. Sounds like he was a strong leader. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know much about Vietnam. You likely know a lot more than I do about the local customs, terrain, and best tactics for fighting the VC. But I'm willing to learn as fast as I can. And I can promise you, I'll do my best not to get anyone killed on my watch.
That might be the smartest thing I've ever heard come out of an officer's mouth. This guy should be a 5-star general.
That day, we went out after receiving intel that a peasant farmer told a wolfhound there was a large group of VC soldiers camped not far from our position. The new lieutenant radioed the company commander and asked him what he wanted us to do. The CO told him to set up an ambush site next to the trail and be prepared to make contact. He said he would have the Cobras on alert and the artillery guns would be aimed around our location. Everyone was on nervous as hell mode when we set up that night, and I think I told God I would be a better man if he let me make it out of this mess. New pups. No one can go to sleep on guard duty. Our lives depend on it. Do your job. I'll take first guard.
You find yourself looking up at the stars with Raquel Welch's naked body on top of you? Try to wake up.
No jokes, Sally. Not about this.
Roger that.
I stayed up for 2 hours before waking up one of the new kids and handing him the watch. I closed my eyes and nodded off. I was half asleep when I heard a weird hissing sound. My eyes flew open and I thought a ghost was standing behind me. I lay completely still, not wanting to give my position away. I was so terrified I could not reach for my rifle, afraid the ghost would see my movement. This was the end, and I was going to die lying on the ground. I heard the hissing sound again and strained my ears to see where it was coming from. My eyes adjusted, and I saw the new guy sound asleep next to the radio with the handset sitting on top of his shoulder. The hissing sound was coming from the LT's RTO, keying his radio handset asking for a sitrep. I came off the ground like a spring, and in one leap I was on top of this 19-year-old kid with my hands around his neck. I was choking the life out of him, and I didn't realize what I was doing. I was beyond rational thinking. I was looking down at myself, digging my thumbs into this man's windpipe. He had no chance to offer any resistance.
John, you're killing him!
I let go of the deathlock I had on the new guy's throat and sat down cross-legged, wondering what had just happened.
Christ, John!
By this time, the rest of the squad was awake and wondering what was going on. I was numb and realized I had finally lost my mind. I was terrified. I was finished. A mind is a terrible thing to lose, especially when it's lost in front of your men. I felt no remorse or sorrow for what had happened. I told these guys how important this was. The story of the night's event spread around the platoon like wildfire. Rich, Merlin, and Big Sally approached me the following morning.
You look like shit, John.
Yeah.
The new lieutenant told us to tell you.
Tell me what?
I think he's scared of you.
Tell me what, Rich?
Get your gear together. You're going on the next resupply chopper.
What for?
You've done a good job, John. You saved lives here, kept us together, kept us united, helped us get through all this shit. If it wasn't for you, we'd all have lost it months ago. You did your duty and then some. Now it's time for you to get out of here.
Why me?
Oh, no reason.
It could have been any of us. It was me a couple of times. And if it weren't for you, I'd have already been court-martialed. You a fine soldier, John, but you a better friend.
If you get laid, promise you'll write a letter telling us. I mean a long letter.
You should come with me.
Well, I made the mistake of not almost choking to death one of my own guys in front of everyone.
That new lieutenant is smart.
I mean it, John. Every thrust.
They're putting you out to pasture, old guy. We'll see you soon enough.
I hope so.
Dirty bastard.
When the resupply helicopter landed, I threw my gear under the web seat and sat in the doorway with my feet touching the struts. As the chopper rose up into the air, I felt a horrible sense of abandoning my guys. How would they survive without me telling them what to do? I looked down and the kid I had choked was brushing his teeth. He looked up at me and gave me a salute. I was overcome with emotion as I raised my hand to my brow and saluted him back. I wondered what I would do when I got back to Kuchi. Was Rich coming in a few days? Or would he die here too? 45 men had given their lives while I served with them. I don't know why I wasn't one of them. The stewardesses made their final pass down the aisle collecting any trash, and within minutes we heard the roar of the wind as the landing gear dropped into place. I could see the ground and knew it would only be minutes until I would step foot in California. I smiled, feeling thankful that we wouldn't have to worry about being hit by a mortar or RPG round. We boarded the buses and took a 10-minute ride to the opposite side of the base. A captain told us to not wear our uniforms when we left the base. I couldn't understand why. I thought there would be people welcoming us home. We loaded up on the buses and were driven to the front gate, where lines of yellow cab taxis were waiting to take us to our destination. What happened next, I could not be prepared for. As we walked through the front gate, we were stormed by a bunch of hippie-looking girls and a few long-haired guys. This group was a bunch of angry people on a mission. The first thing that happened was a young girl spit on me. Others were throwing rotten produce. I thought we'd be greeted with a hero's welcome. I couldn't have been more wrong. Eventually, I got away from them and got a cab. The cab took me home. When the cab driver opened the trunk and pulled my duffel bag out, he looked at me and said,
My brother was a Marine. He got killed in Nam on April 1st, 1968. A place called Quezon.
I heard about it. I'm sorry you lost your brother. I pulled out my wallet and asked, What do I owe you?
Ride's on me. Glad you made it home.
Thank you. I handed him a $10 bill as a tip, and he smiled and put it in his pocket. I was home in time for Thanksgiving. As the food was being passed around the table, my mind went back to the Thanksgiving I had spent in Nam on the Cambodian border. I looked down the table and said, Will someone please pass the fucking butter? My mom's face turned pale, and she whispered to my sister, This isn't the same boy that went to Vietnam. She was right.
This is John Quintrell. This is my true story. The parts of this story you would hope are fake are real.
Someone is Killing the Wolfhounds is a production of Voyage Media. The series is produced by Nat Mundell, Robert Midas, Minody Vaishnav, and Dan Benamor. Executive produced by John Quintrell. Story produced by Minody Vaishnav. Written and directed by Dan Benamor. Based on the novel My 365 Days with the Wolfhounds in Vietnam, 1968 to 1969, A Combat Veteran's Journey, by John Quintrell. The novel is available on Amazon. A link is in the show notes. Edited, sound designed, and mixed by Nick Nisiti. Original music by Derlis Gonzalez. If you're enjoying the show, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you're listening, and subscribe now for future episodes.